the mim, tha, lam word. Okay, so we have mathalun, meaning proverb 1, and then we have mathalun again, meaning the likeness of. Now, so we check the meanings of, you can check Surah Al Imran, verse number 59. Al Imran, verse number 59. You see, Inna mathala Isa indallahi ka mathali Adam. The likeness of Isa is like the likeness of Adam with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no speciality. Okay, so we have those meanings from the mim, thin, lam. But then when you have it with alif like this, when you have it coming with alif, then it means example. Mithal, bimana example. Okay, so when it says ikra al-mithal, read the example. وَكَوِّن, kawwin, form, F-O-R-M, form. So when we say kawwin, form, jumalan. Jumal, we know, is the plural of jumla. We have jumlatun, its plural is jumal. So when we say jumal, bimana sentences. And it says, ala girarihi. This word shouldn't have actually been used in this book. Looking at the fact that the book is for beginners. Ala girarihi, yani, let it follow its likeness. So ikra al-mithal, read the example. وَكَوِّن jumalan, and form sentences. Ala girarihi, following its style. Yani you follow the style that the sentences here, use them to fill these spaces here. Okay, so if you want to say create a group like this, or form a group, you can use the word kawwin. Kawwin majmu'a, form a group. Kawwin majmu'a, form a group. Okay, now let's look at it. It says Muhammad.
Can I ask a question, please? Sorry.
Yes, please go ahead.
The vowel, the kawwin, there's fatha on the wow. So how are you pronouncing it as kawwin and not kawwan? Oh.
Okay, mashallah, nice question. When you have shadda on a word, the kasra comes under the shadda. So it's, you might see it on top of the letter, but it is kasra.
Okay.
So when it's when it's supposed to be fatha, it will go up the shadda.
Okay.
Okay, so when we are writing and we write a word or a letter with shadda, and we want to give it kasra, we put the kasra under the shadda, not under the letter. When we put it under the letter, it's not wrong, but it looks too much of a beginner. Well, we put the kasra under the shadda.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Muhammadun talibun. Again, now I'm sure we are very cool with the possessive expression or the possessive phrase. Now we are looking at the nominal sentence. The nominal sentence. The nominal sentence, I've said that it is made up of a mubtada. Mubtada. Mim, ba, ta, dal, hamza. Alif and hamza on top of it. Mubtada. So you have a mubtada plus a khabar. Khabarun. So khabar in everyday language means news or info. So we have mubtada and khabar. In grammar, we say subject and predicate. What happens is that the first word, if it is a noun, it is the mubtada, it is the subject. Whatever else that comes after that forms the predicate. Whatever else that comes after the subject forms the khabar. So here we have almost all of them are a mubtada and khabar forming a nominal sentence, a jumla ismiya. So we have Muhammadun talibun. Muhammad is a student. Muhammadun talibun. Now, one thing we will learn today again about the nominal sentence is that when the khabar is a singular noun, the khabar is a singular noun, like one word like this, and now you see it taking dhammatain. Muhammadun talibun. Muhammad is a student. Now, as I said, we can't say Muhammadun at-talib. In that case, we've made it definite. It becomes an adjective. So when we have a definite word and an indefinite, we are looking at this one is that one. Muhammad is a student. So when I say al-waladu tawilun, the boy is tall. We should look at the construction very well. We have a definite noun and an indefinite noun. So this is what we are seeing throughout. Hamid is definite because it's a proper noun. Hamid tabibun. You won't say at-tabibu. Huwa muslimun. He's a Muslim. So huwa is a pronoun. It's definite. Huwa, he. So we know the one we are talking about. It's a pronoun, but it's a definite noun. Huwa muslimun. So you can see that all of them are coming indefinite. The predicate, they are all coming indefinite. Al-babu muglaqun. The door is closed. Muglaqun. I think we've seen al-babu maftuhun. The door is opened. Now we are looking at al-babu muglaqun. The door is closed. Al-mindilu wasikhun. The handkerchief or the towel is dirty. Mindil, as I said, can be for handkerchief, towel, tissue, anything of that sort can be said as mindil. Even rag can be said as mindil. Al-mindilu wasikhun. The towel or tissue is dirty. Ashayu harun. Ashai is tea, T-E-A. The tea is hot. Harun. The tea is hot. Al-masjidu ba'idun. The masjid is far. The masjid is far. At-talibu maridun. The student is sick. Al-hisanu sari'un. The horse is fast. It's very fast. Al-qamaru jamilun. The moon is beautiful. The moon is nice. Jamilun, as we said, can qualify for nice, good. So we are chatting with somebody and the person says something and you are like, okay, Jamil. Jamil bimana okay or good. Al-abu jalisun. The father is sitting. Okay, that's the 11 sentences we have with us. So we are going to follow that manner to create these sentences here. Okay, so here we have Muhammad talibun and he says Aminatu talibatun. See, the predicate must agree with the. Okay, let's just take this simple note. We've learned about the relationship between the adjectival phrase and noun and its adjective. And we mentioned that the adjective must agree with the noun in terms of gender. It must agree with the noun in terms of definiteness and indefiniteness. It must agree with the noun in terms of the ending vowel. That is for the adjectival phrase. And we also came to the possessive phrase. And we said that the possessed, it comes first. It does not take alif and lam. It does not take tanween. And we said the possessor comes second always. It always takes kasra. So we took the loss for that one too. Now the subject and predicate, they also have a relationship. The subject and predicate must agree in number. They must agree in number and gender, just that. So when you want to say the boy is that, the school is that, the house is that, you want to say something in this form, the info you are adding to the subject must agree with the subject in gender and number, not definiteness, because the khabar comes as indefinite. Okay, so now we are looking at this. We can answer it if we feel cool. We can allow our microphone and answer it. Fatima too. What do we say for Fatima? Aywa. And then who are Muslim when we say here?
Muslim.
Jamil. Then the concept we've gotten our concept. And nafidatu is window. Window. Please, we can save the plural of it. Whenever we see a word that we need its plural, you could call my attention on that regards as well. And nafida, the plural is nawafid. And nawafid. And nawafid. Then we have al-yadu. So al-yadu here, what do we say?
Wasikhun.
Again, I actually left that for you.
Wasikhun.
Okay, let's look at it again. Let's refresh our minds and look at it. Al-yadu, the hand.
It's double, yes. It takes a feminine.
Aywa. Aywa. Tamam. Jamil, it's good when you're able to remember the qaida. When you remember the rule like this, as you are studying fresh like this, I don't expect everything to be coming right away. It doesn't happen like that. Sometimes when you are done, you are relaxed, that's when things start coming out. So at a spot like this, I don't expect it to even just get it right away like that. It will be dangerous. Al-yadu is pair, and we said pair, any part of the body that is pair is treated as feminine. So if you want to say my hand is dirty, you say yadi wasihatun. Yadi, my hand, wasihatun. That is how we treat it. And it says al-qahwa, al-qahwa. Now, I like this kind of words that have issues. You see, in Islamic sciences, when before a person becomes a mufti, or before a person becomes an imam who can talk in Islamic affairs, the person should have a very strong understanding of Arabic language. Yani, not just be able to speak Arabic language, contemporary, but the person should understand the times that words have gone over, the seasons we've had. Every season comes and a word means something else. As I showed you about the sayyara in Surah Yusuf, waja'at sayyara there meant that a group of people or travelers came, not a car came. So let's say you are doing tafsir and you are a fresh Arabic student, you go and pick the Quran and you want to do tafsir. You see sayyara and let's say you explain it as a car. See, you've done a very great injustice to the Quran. So words have gone through those phases. So this similar to that is the word al-qahwa. Al-qahwa. Qahwa at first meant alcohol. Qahwa at first used to mean alcohol, and it had hard drinks. And then it happened that, I think this incident happened in Egypt, per the narration we had. It happened that there was a scholar, when coffee came, coffee was given the name kahwa. Coffee was called kahwa. Even today, coffee is called kahwa. And this scholar was asked, somebody asked the scholar that, hey, this drink has come. Though he didn't open the question like that up to the scholar, he asked him that there is this thing called kahwa. What is the ruling? And he said, haram. The scholar, looking at the meaning of the word as it's being used, not what has come up, and he said haram. And it became an issue that coffee is haram, coffee is haram. Later coming to learn that coffee is just one of these, like teens brother. It's very innocent. And then they had to correct that idea. So when before you talk in matters, you need to relax and get the meaning of the word all round. Before you are giving the tag sheikh, imam, a mufti, all these tags, you need to have a very all-round understanding of the word. So coffee before was called kahwa. Alcohol before was called kahwa. And so it became a problem in a particular time. But kahwa is coffee. And coffee shop is called makha. Makha, not just coffee shop, but these shops that you go and take something, a tea or snacks or something. It's called makha. Makha. Okay. So al-qahwatu, we say haratun. Haratun. Al-madrasatu, of course, the ta marbut, all those with ta marbut are not really the problem. So ash-shams, I've said that ash-shams is feminine, though it does not have the feminine marker, which is the ta marbut that we popularly know. It doesn't have it, but it is treated as feminine. Al is mother and is feminine. Okay. So that is the understanding for the nominal sentence. This particular tadrib is to train us on nominal sentence, how they go when they are a subject is a noun, the predicate is also a noun. You see, you can have the predicate being a verb. That is fine. In that case, you don't apply these rules. You have al-waladu yadhhabu. You never hear yadhhabun. Verbs do not take tanween. Haram. Verbs do not end in tanween. Verbs do not end in kesra. You can save this as an extra. Verbs do not take tanween. Verbs do not also take kesra. So when you see you are reading the Quran and a verb takes kesra, it comes as a reading aid. Like let's say this jumal here had alif and lam. The sukun here, I'll make it kesra when I'm reading. I will say kawwinil jumal, just so I could join it. But in actual sense, it's not the kesra that is there. It's sukun. So when you are reading the Quran and you see that a verb is taking kesra, look at it, it's taking kesra because of recitation, to aid recitation, but that's not the vowel there. Okay. So I'm sure the understanding of the nominal sentence is okay now. You have a definite noun and an indefinite noun. They must agree in gender and number. Now, we are going to correct these together. He says, sahih, correct. Sahih, he's asking you to correct. There is something similar about these command verbs. I don't know if any of you has noticed. See, sahih ending with sukun, kawin ending with sukun as well. Ikra also ends with sukun, though it's not showing. The command verbs, they end like that. It says sahih, correct, al-jumal al-atiya, the following sentences. Hakibatu man haza. Hakibatu man haza. Hakiba is bag, B-A-G. It says Hakibatu man haza. Whose bag is this? What do we say to this sentence? This question particularly. How do we correct it? How do we correct this sentence? Hakibatu man haza. Anyone has seen the error? Have we seen the error? Can we identify the error in the sentence? Aywa. So hakibatu man hazihi is not supposed to be haza. Hakibatu man hazihi. I don't know if this thing can type. So we have hazihi instead of haza, because hakiba is feminine. So you are pointing to the bag and you are asking whose bag is this? This is for the bag. So hakibatu man hazihi. Ayo. Yes, al-ghurfatu maftuhun. We said that the predicate must agree with the subject in terms of gender and number. And here the ghurfa is feminine because of ta marbut. Maftuh we should give it ta marbut also. So we should have maftuhatun. Al-ghurfatu maftuhatun. I think previously I've said that the subject must take dhamma. If you ever forget, you say alhamdu, alhamdulillahi rabbil alhamdu. When the noun begins a sentence, it takes dhamma. Alhamdu lillahi rabbil alamin. Haza sayyaratu tabib. Haza sayyaratu tabib. This is the doctor's car. I think the error also lies with haza. Now,
هذه سيارة طبيبة.
هذه سيارة الطبيب. The tabib is the doctor, so we don't have any issue with him.
Oh, okay.
The hazihi is referring to the car. So this is the doctor's car. The hazihi is referring to the car. So the tabib, we don't have any issue with him. Hazihi sayyaratu tabibi. Tabibi bil kasr. Because sayyaratu tabib is a possessive expression. And so the possessor, tabib, must end with kasra. Hazihi sayyaratu tabibi. Please, this one is not vowelized. I'm reading it with hazihi sayyaratu at-tabibi. Anyone has issue with the dhamma, I'm giving this one, and the kasra, I'm giving that one. If you have any issue about how I even came about the vowels, you can ask that also. We want to get an in-depth understanding of how all these Arabic stuff go. You don't want to look at Arabic text and be blind. You want to know what's going on. Please, do you all know why I'm reading with Sayyara 2 and At-Tabibi? Okay, I think that will be fine. هذه مفتاح السيارة. هذه مفتاح السيارة. What is the error here? What is the error? Okay, so hazihi should become haza because it is referring to miftah as sayyara. Please, dear colleagues, I hope the silence I'm getting from the other members means everything is understood. I hope. So we have hada miftahu sayyarati. This is the car key. Okay. That is done with here. We come to Aina Sayyarati. Where is the car? Where is the car? And he says, Huwa fi shari'. Huwa fi shari'. How do we correct it? Ash-shari' is the street. Street. How do we correct this one here? Huwa fi shari'. How do we correct it? Please, the others, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, okay. Please, how do we correct the Aina Sayyara? Huwa fi shari'. Okay, do we see that it's asking about Okay, so we say here, في الشارع, أين السيارة? Because it's asking about سيارة. So when we say هو, the هو is supposed to refer to the سيارة. So we need to say here, في الشارع, because it is feminine. Okay. Then it says اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. اقرأ, sukun here, واكتب, sukun here, because they are both command. مع ضبط, مع is a preposition. ضبط is a noun, so it will come with kasra. When preposition comes, the noun that follows it should take kasra. Say مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات, the endings of the words. So you read them and vowelize them yourself. So you just use the rulings we just learned. It says هذا لمحمد, because of the li. هذا لمحمد وذلك لحامد. This is for Muhammad and that is for Hamid. It says liman hazihi, to whom belongs this? That is what you say in the ending times, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say liman al-mulk al-yawm, liman al-mulk al-yawm, to whom belongs the sovereignty of today. Li, the leader to show belongingness, ownership. It says hazihi li Yasir, this is for Yasir. Alhamdu, it is a noun beginning a sentence, so we read it with Dhamma. Lillahi, the leader is making the Allahi there takes kasra. Lillahi. Okay, so let's just I don't know, let's use this space. And so we have the li, the lam, and then we have Allah like this, which is shadda, li and Allah like this. Now when a word has alif and lam, and you want to join the lam that shows ownership to it, what happens is that the alif will vanish, and then the lam will join with it. So both of these, if you are joining lam to alif and lam like this, these two, the alif here and the lam in front here will all go. So you now have the li and then the lahi coming like this with the ishadda. So when we see lillahi, it's actually this lam and Allah coming together. Okay, so that's why we have alhamdu lillahi. All form of praises belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. And you say lillahi al-mashriku wal-maghribu. To Allah belongs al-mashriq, the sun, where the sun rises from, which is the east. Wal-maghrib, and where the sun sets. The word al-maghrib and al-mashriq, they have several denotions. When we say mashriq, the point where something shines from. See, the sun shines, but where does it start shining from? It starts shining from the east. So we say mashriq, that's why we call the time that the sun starts to appear and shine, we call it shuruq shams. Shuruq shams. So when you hear shuruq, it basically means when the sun is rising. That is the time that we pray the Salat Duha at dawn, around the 6 to 7 day, or is it around the 6 a.m. day. So al-mashriq means where the sun rises from. That is the east. Wal maghrib, and maghrib means where the sun sets. Maghrib means the west. Maghrib means Morocco. Morocco, that's the name of Morocco. Maghrib. So when we were speaking Arabic and you want to say Morocco, you don't say Morocco. Say Maghrib. Okay. So he gives us al-kalimat al-jadida, al-mikwah, iron. All of them I think are very familiar. Al-kidru, pot. quote. I think all of them are quite familiar. I don't know if you can look through within like 5 seconds. Any word there that is strange? Please, words that sometimes have issue that we stand upon, you hold it very well. Words like al-falah, the explanation we did about it is very sensitive. You put your ear to listening to azan and you identify this error. So if you are close, you can correct the person. You don't say hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah, no shadda. Hayya ala al-falah, come to success. When you say hayya ala falah, hayya ala with shadda, you mean come to the peasant farmer or come to the farmer, which is very dangerous. Okay. I hope all the words are clear. If there is anything unclear, please, you can ask, inshallah. I'll come to dروusul sabi, the lesson 7. So basically what is happening is that you learn one qaida, we build upon it the next lesson, it keeps building upon each other. So no law or no particular point is dispensable. All of them are indispensable. They are an integral part of the generality of Arabic. So from the alif coming up, how to pronounce the ha and not make it ha, all takes part of the we getting the language very well. Okay. Of course, this shadda is supposed to be here. It's not at its right position. Man hazihi. Who is this? Says hazihi aminatun. Hazihi aminatu. Bidom. One dom. Hazihi aminatu. Woman tilka. Tilka is that, like the feminine of dhalika. The feminine of dhalika. Woman tilka. So who is that? Again, asking about a woman. Tilka Fatimatu. So you see, when I read Aminatu first, I read it with Dommatain. I said Haji Aminatun, then I brought myself back to Aminatu, to the qaida we studied. Feminine nouns, we give them just one Dhamma. Feminine names, proper names, let me put it that way. Proper nouns, we give them just one Dhamma. Okay. So Aminatu, even if there's no vowel, Fatimatu, I won't say Fatimatun, no. Okay. Hazihi tabibatun, this is a doctor. Watilka mumarridatun, and that one is a nurse. Now, Hamdiya, you could look here, you see that here he applied the other option of having shadda. You can see the shadda on top of ra and the kasra coming down. That is also all right. But that looks too beginner. I think when you are writing, I would prefer that you go with the kasra being under the shadda. It's actually is learning. When you go into the Quran, it's like that. The kasra comes under the shadda. Okay. It says, Hazihi min al-Hind. Hazihi min al-Hind. This one is from India. Watilka min al-Yaban. And that one is from Japan. Al-Yaban, I said that is how we call Japan in Arabic. You know, we don't have a P. So all our P is ba. That's why you hear the Arabs saying biza, biza, biza with a B, not P. Say Pepsi, Pepsi. Instead of Pepsi, they will give it a B. Every P is B in Arabic language. So when you are writing a name, those names that are not Arabic, you are writing them, you know, we don't translate names. So you are writing a name like Prince, Prince. You write Brains. You are writing a name like Portia. You write Borgia. Okay. So he says, Hazihi tawilatun. This one is tall. Watilka qasiratun. And that one, and that is short. So here he's telling us about Hazihi and Tilka, just like we learned about Haza and Dhalika. Okay. Man Haza? Who is this? Haza Hamidun. This is Hamid. Woman Dhalika. Who is that? Dhalika Aliyun. Okay. Atilka dajajatun. Is that a chicken? La. Tilka battatun. Batta is a duck. D-U-C-K. Tilka battatun. It's asking hal tilka dajajatun or atilka dajajatun. Just as I can say, azahabta ila al-madrasa, hal zahabta ila al-madrasa, the a and the hal, they are used to ask questions where the answers demand a nam or la. Okay. Ma tilka. Ma tilka. What is that? Tilka baydatun. That is an egg. Baydatun. That is an egg. An egg can come as baydatun or baydun. It's all right. Okay. هذه سيارة المدرس. هذه سيارة المدرس. وتلك سيارة المدير. Please, if I read any vowel in a way that is not in tandem with what you know, please you call my attention to it. This is the teacher's car, and that is the head teacher's car or the manager's car. The headmaster's car or the administrator's car. I said the mudir can go for anybody who is at the realm of affairs. Okay. Asa'atu Abbasin hazihi. Asa'atu Abbasin hazihi. This is like saying hal hazihi sa'atu Abbasin. Is this Abbas's watch? Is this Abbas's watch? La. It's not for him. Hazihi sa'atu Hamidin. This is Hamid's watch. Tilka sa'atu Abbasin. And that is Abbas's watch. So you come to see a book, you can ask, Ahaza kitabu Muhammadin? Is this Muhammad's book? Then the one there will tell you, La. Haza kitabu Ustaz. Or Haza li Ustaz. Wa dhalika li Muhammad. Or dhalika kitabu Muhammad. Okay. Dhalika dikun. That is a pork. Wa tilka dajajatun. And that is a hen. Okay. So basically the lesson is about tilka mainly, because we've seen zalika. Okay. Tamarin. Hey, what happens if you vowelize it here? Tamarin. Iqra waktub. Read and write. Hazihi, the last vowels though are not coming. But when you have a subject, the predicate takes dhamma, as we've been reading throughout. So we say hazihi madrasatun. Watilka jami'atun. This is a school, and that is a university. Jami'atun. Please again reiterating on the difference between jami'atun and jami'un. Jami'un without ta marbuta is masjid. It's a synonym for masjid. Just like musalla. We said we have three names: masjid, jami', musalla. Both are place of prayer. But when we have ta marbut coming with it like this, jami'atun, then it's a university. Dhalika himarun. That is a donkey. Watilka baqaratun. And that is a cow. Adhalika masjidun. Is that a masjid? La. Tilka madrasatun. No, that is a madrasa. So you see, he asked with zalika because he was thinking it's a masjid. He used masculine to ask because he was thinking it's a masjid. But the one answering knows that it's a school, and school is feminine. Says la tilka. He wouldn't say zalika. La tilka madrasatun. Haza jamalun. This is a camel. Wa tilka naqatun. No, so I said that camel has names. We say jamalun for masculine, naqa for feminine. Okay. So what will prevent me from reading hadha jumalun? هذا جمل, because it's the same thing, just the vowels. If I put Dhamma, Fatha, Dhammatain, Jumalun, it reads all right. And this is sentences. Watilka, and I'll say that is a female camel. But you see, the context again does not help that understanding. You can see that it says Watilka naqatun, and that is a female camel. You can't say Jumalun here. So though there are no vowels, you should be guided by the context. And again, if it was Jumalun sentences, we say Hazihi. Hazihi, because Jumla is feminine. Say Hazihi Jumalun. But because it's Haza, then it is Jamalun, a camel. Okay. We need to, when we see a text, we need to try and consolidate all our qawaid, bring them together, create some harmony between them to be able to digest. As I said, from now, even from now, when you take the Quran, you are not reading the way the general public will do. Since you've been introduced to Arabic language, you will now be reading it as somebody who knows what's going on somewhere. Okay, you know the vowels are not just coming for coming's sake. It's not fun. They are coming to determine meanings, and they have what is causing them to come. Okay. This is a school, and that is a student, a female student. هذا كلب وذلك قط. That is a dog. This is a dog, and that is a cat. قط, cat. هذا بيت. هذا بيت المؤذن. المؤذن is the muezzin, the one who says the azan, the ladan. هذا بيت المؤذن. This is the house of the ladan or the muezzin. وتلك حديقة التاجر, and that is the garden of the trader. حديقة التاجر, the garden of the trader. Now, Hadiqa also has another name, which is the bustan. Bustan. But when we say Hadiqa, we mean a fenced garden, a garden with a fence. That is Hadiqa. And bustan is a garden without a fence. That is what is called bustan, though they are used interchangeably at times. We also have Jannah, Jannatun, to mean garden, general name for garden. Okay. Okay, it says Ashir. The word Ashir means point. Ashir ila, point to or point at. Al-kalimat al-atiya, the following words, bi-ism al-ishara. Now, the haza, from haza that we studied, to dhalika, to hazihi, to tilka, these kind of nouns, I think they are called demonstrative nouns, or is it demonstrative nouns, I think. The name in Arabic is ismul ishara. Haza is called ismul ishara. Tilka is called ismul ishara. Ishara means to point at something. So they say demonstrative nouns, I think that is it. So bismil ishara lil ba'id. The asma'ul ishara are in two forms. They are in two forms. Please, you can note this point, any simple note, before even I make the time to make notes for us. We have ismul ishara lil ba'id. The one for long distance. Ismul ishara lil ba'id. And what we mean by that is dhalika and tilka. Because when we say that, we are referring to something that is not close to us. Because if it is close to us, we will say this. So when we say ismul ishara lil ba'id, we mean dhalika and tilka. But when we say ismul ishara lil qarib, the opposite of ba'id, we say demonstrative articles for close things, things that are close. So we have ismul ishara lil ba'id, ismul ishara lil qarib. So when you are reading the Quran, alif lam mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. Oh, then the book Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to, it is not closed. So where was it? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Then the book is not closed. So as you pointed the other time, you said that scholars have said that because the Quran was not yet a book, was not yet made into a book, so it was spoken about as something that is far, something to become. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, because the Quran was never a kitab until after a while. It was made into a kitab. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Okay. So you should know the ismul ishara lil ba'id, and then what is ismul ishara lil qarib. So he wants you to give them asma'ul ishara. So you are just going to look here and then you choose which one fits. I'm sure all of us will be able to do this easily. If it's feminine, you give it tilka. If it is masculine, you give it dhalika. So I've said that this kind of assignments that we don't treat, if you're able to do them and you want me to cross-check it for you, you could easily do it on a paper or something, snap it, let me see it, and then I can correct it for you. But I'm sure we all know all these words here. If there is any word here that is unclear, you can flash through and then call my attention to it. Okay. We have al-kalimat al-jadida here are not much. Al-mumarrida, nes, a nes. Al-mumarrida, a nes. Al-hadiqa, garden. Al-batta, duck, the duck. Al-muazzin, the muazzin. Al-naqatu, the female camel. Al-baydatu, the egg. Okay. So here he brings us the asma'ul ishara lil qarib, demonstrative nouns for close things. Wa asma'ul ishara lil ba'id, demonstrative nouns for far things, things that are far. Haza and hazihi. Have dhalika and tilka here. Okay. Before we jump into ad-daruus thamin, please let us make the questions and the discussions more. At this point, we've seen a lot, almost a lot that we need at this point. We've seen them. So please, let's create questions. Anything, I would love you to read the Quran. You don't understand anything, something goes against a qaida you've studied, you ask. It's more nice when the thing relates to the Quran. You enjoy it better. So if there are any questions, as is our order, whenever it's 8:30 like this, we try and then make it questions. So if there are any questions, inshallah. You know, there is one thing, we learn more from questions than even sometimes how we learn from main lessons. Sometimes the questions trigger certain serious things that will maybe be sending us to the Quran, to Hadith. It even makes it more intense than the lesson itself. So let's do well and be combing for questions, inshallah. Anyone with any question, why something is somehow, why, any question at all? هل هناك سؤال؟ Okay. Radwa, what's the word? Is it here? Okay, 13. Is it this one? Muhandis. Is it the Muhandis? That is engineer. Muhandisun, an engineer. Engineer. So the feminine we say muhandisatun. Okay. Any other question? Please, what I would want is that we shouldn't be fixated on this book we are using or any of the materials I sent. We shouldn't be fixated on it. I've said that this should be an opportunity for us to ask all the, in quotes, all the what seemingly controversial, whatever we had in our heads with the Quran, with whatever, we should just ask. Let's just drop it and get malumat, info. Let's just increase it. It's just the info we are increasing. So we shouldn't be fixated with this book and the materials and what I'm saying, just what I'm saying. There are a lot that I'm not saying that are not coming to the conscious memory. So our questions are what will bring it out.
Sure.
Okay. And also try and be forming sentences on your WhatsApp status. You want to say something, try and do it in Arabic. Try, put something Arabic. Try and use your words, the new words you've studied in particular. Words that are already cemented, they are fine. Words that you are learning now, try and be making use of them anyway. Just do your own form of catcher anywhere you find yourself. It helps it stick more. It helps it to stick more. Okay. In the absence of any question, we would go to الدرس الثامن. الدرس الثامن is a very okay. Makara. So the Makara here is Hausa, right? Okay, so Makara, if that is to wake up late, that is to wake up late. So you say, if it's to go in like a sentence, I'm going to say ta'akhartu, you can basically say ta'akhartu, yani I was late. Makara itself means to be late. And in Hausa itself, Makara means to be late. And I think it's now used for waking up late or being late to something. So in Arabic, you say ta'akhartu. Ta'akhartu, yani I was late. If we want to refer to you waking up late and you want to be clear, you say istayqaztu mutaakhiran. Let me type that. Istayqaztu, and I woke up mutaakhiran. Istayqaztu mutaakhiran. I woke up late. The opposite of istayqaztu, mubakkiran. Mubakkiran. Aywa. Limaza ta'akharta? Oh, why are you late? Limaza ta'akharta? Why are you late? So you say istayqaztu mutaakhiran. I woke up late, that's why. Or you say nimtu kathiran. I slept a lot. Nimtu kathiran. So we have istayqaztu mubakkiran, mutaakhiran, and then we have istayqaztu mubakkiran. So the opposite of mutaakhiran, mubakkiran. And please also, you can make use of the lessons I record on the channel. On my channel, they are also beneficial as an extra to this. And you can fetch questions even from there if there is anything that you do not get. I think this is actually, this is the constituent Mubakkiran and all this is in the first lesson. Those who have been following on my channel, like Al-Qira'atul Rashida, you see that this thing was mentioned there. We have the opposite being Mubakkiran. Let me put the vowels. Mubakkiran. Okay, Mubakkiran means I woke up early. And then the Mutaakhiran means late. Afwan. Can we go to top up with the lesson 8?
Yeah.
Please and please again, I'm only repeating because sometimes what I've experienced so far, whenever there is any teaching setting and there are ladies there, I don't know, I don't know if it's the preaching line or what, they've managed to preach in such a manner that a lady being quiet means she's a good lady. And a lady should be silent, not talk. Alaikum salam. A lady should be silent and quiet. I'm sure you'd agree with me on this, that Shigo means that she's a good lady, she's shy, and mashallah, that is a Muslimah. No, it's a very wrong perception about a woman. When the women are silent, everything breaks in an Islamic society. The women should talk. They straighten the men. Yani, you have Sayyidina Umar there on the member. He went to the member realizing that people are paying sadaqi anyhow, heavy amount. And he realized that people are paying more than even what the Sahaba never pay. So he went on the member and said, no, the sadaqi should be cut to this amount. The mahr should be cut to this amount. Just when he was getting down, woman told him, no, Umar, why would you deny us what Allah has opened for us? Although Allah has opened for our, he had to go back and tell the people, I'm taking my words back. The woman has educated me. So we have the almost, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam indicated to us. He says, "Huzu nisfa dinakum min hazihil humayra," pointing to his wife Nana Aisha. Take half of your religion from this fine woman, from this fair woman. So he's telling us the whole of Muslims to take half of the religion from Nana Aisha, and the other half, not to any one person. All of us should just scatter it among us. So we have the majority of fiqh coming from Nana Aisha, the scholars, the Sahaba, she taught them. We have, over the time, it has been women, but the fact is that now the preaching trend changed, and it looked like if you talk, hey, you are against the men are supposed to talk, keep quiet, that is a good woman, stay in your corner. When there is anything, go and. So you realize that growing up gradually, there is a barrier in the masjid. Now the women are bad, sometimes even with a wall, they can't see what's going on. Meanwhile, masjid were never having any barriers, you know. So gradually, when the women are relaxed and are not active, are not talking, men already we enjoy the masculinity. So it also pushes us on. So we would like you to be inquisitive, to ask, to know ma'lumat, to try to delve into matters, inshallah. That is why this program that is basically why this program. Okay, I hope we all get what we've set out to achieve, inshallah. Ad-Darsu Thamin is a very short one. He says, هذا الرجل تاجر. There is something you will see here. Look at this. That construction there. هذا الرجل. You've learned that هذا is a noun, and it starts a sentence. Is the subject. Ar-rajulu. We are used to haza rajulun. This is a man. So when the predicate comes with alif and lam like this, how do we go about it? So you have a demonstrative noun, you have ismu ishara, and a definite noun comes after it. What do? You say this man. You say this is a man because it's not haza rajulun. This is haza rajulu, haza ar-rajulu. So in that case, you say this man. If I say tilkal mar'atu, that woman. هذه البنت, this girl. You differentiate between that and هذه بنت. هذه بنت. This is a girl. So when you have the demonstrative article or the demonstrative noun, the ismu ishara, and after it comes a definite noun, we call it in Arabic, the definite noun here. Please, you can save the name. It's a higher grammar, but it changes nothing. Badalun. We call it badalun. One shouldn't be there. When you have, so this here, the rajul here is called badalun. Oh, why is this thing not working? Doesn't like to write the lam. I think it doesn't allow us to write here. You leave it there. So we have, let me try and bauda and then lam. Badalun. Okay. Badalun basically means a substitute. A substitute. When we say hadha rajulu, the ar-rajul is a substitute for the haza. It's not a predicate. So you don't say this is a man, this man. The this and the ar-rajul, they are all pointing to the same person. Okay, so we have hadha rajulu, this man, tajirun. We are now having the predicate. Tajirun, this is the predicate. This man is a trader or is a businessman. وَذَلِكَ الرَّجُلُ, and that man, tabibun, is a doctor. Okay. Now let's go to the Quran again, just at the tip here, Surah Al-Baqarah, and see something. It says Alif Lam Mim again. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. It's not ذَلِكَ kitabun. If it was ذَلِكَ kitabun la rayba fihi, you will say that is the book in which there is no doubt. That is the book in which there is no doubt. If it was ذَلِكَ kitabun la rayba fihi. But what is it? ذَلِكَ al-kitabu. So we have the demonstrative article, the ismu ishara, ذَلِكَ, and al-kitabu coming after it. So when we are there to explain, you say that book, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, that book in which there is no doubt, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, is a guidance for the pious ones, those who have believed. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, that book, لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, in which there is no doubt, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, it's a guidance for those who believe. So we have a difference between ذَلِكَ كِتَابٌ and ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. Now, there is something I almost forgot about the subject and predicate, where I said that the subject is definite and the predicate is indefinite. We all have watched the message or the Umar series, where we see Bilal, Sayyidina Bilal radiallahu anhu, being punished on the floor there, and they were telling him to do shirk, to say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more than one, to say that the Allat, Al-Uzza, whoever, all these, they are rubbish, were all, they are all gods. They were ilah. And Bilal refused. What was Bilal saying? Ahadun, ahad. Ahadun, ahadun, ahadun. He kept repeating ahadun. He kept repeating an indefinite noun. Just one word. It's not a sentence. So what was he communicating? What Bilal was saying is that Allahu ahadun. a subject and predicate. He just dropped the subject because all of them knew who the subject was. They were talking about Allah. So he dropped the subject and he kept repeating the predicate. Ahadun, ahadun, bimana, Allah is one. Allah is one. He is one. Ahadun, ahad, that was what was going on. So what was happening is actually Allahu ahadun, or just like we say, Kul huwa Allahu ahadun. So that was the same thing he was saying there. Okay. Now back to our display. So now we've seen how it goes when we have a definite noun coming after the ismu ishara. They say ismu tajir Mahmud. Ismu tajir Mahmud. The name of the trader. This is a possessive construction. Ismu tajiri. The name of the trader. Mahmud. Wasmu tabibi Sa'id. And the name of the doctor is Sa'id. So let's just end this and we come back to the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim construction, inshallah. Okay, so it says, هذا البيت للتاجر. This house, so look at how I translate it. This house is for the trader. وذلك البيت, and that house للطبيب is for the doctor. بيت التاجر, the house of the trader, أمام المسجد, is in front of the masjid. You remember under the prepositional phrase, I said that sometimes you have an adverb and a noun, and the adverb, like adverb of place, we called it zorfun, zorf makan, adverb of place, and zorf zaman, adverb of time. It says, Baytu tajiri amam al masjidi, the house of the trader is in front of the masjid. Wa baytu tabibi, and the house of the doctor, khalf al madrasati, is behind. Khalf is behind the school. Liman hazihi sayyaratu, to whom belongs this car? Waliman tilka, and to whom belongs that one? Liman hazihi sayyara, waliman tilka. He didn't say waliman tilka sayyara again. Whose car is this and whose is that? You get it? Liman hazihi sayyaratu waliman tilka. Hazihi sayyaratu, this car, littabibi, is for the doctor. Wa tilka, and that one, littajiri, is for the trader. Hazihi sayyaratu min al-Yaban, this car is from Japan. Wa tilka min America, and that one is from America. So when you are speaking Arabic, don't say America. We know you know it is America, but when you are speaking Arabic, you say America. So US dollars, we say dollar America, dollar Amerikia, dollar Amerikia, American dollars. You don't say America. Okay, we speak like we are an Arab. Okay, back to Tamarin again. He says, Ajib anil asilatil atiya, respond to the following questions. Man hadha rajul, who is this man? Man hadha rajul, who is this man? Wa man dhalika rajul, and who is that man? So you just improvise your answers. Masmu tajiri, masmu tabibi, min aina sayyaratu tabibi, from where is the doctor's car from? Or the doctor's car is from where? Min aina sayyaratu tajir, the trader's car, where is it from? Okay, before our time, we adjust our time, we are going to explain the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim phenomena. I wish I could just open a Word file and then, okay, let's see how quick that will be. Okay, a second, come. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so let me see about we sharing this screen instead. Okay. Please, can we see the Word file I've just opened?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahimi. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahimi. Of course, the ar-Rahman, the alif mostly is not written. You see something like this. Instead, they will just put it like this. They wouldn't write the alif there. So they will just stretch it like this, and you will not find any obvious alif written there. But then it's actually ar-Rahman with a mad. Okay. Now, in we trying to see why all this is going, I'll break this apart also. So we have a B, ba kesra. The ba is a preposition. The B is a preposition. And we've learned that preposition, any noun that comes after the preposition takes kesra. Any noun that comes after a preposition like fi, ila, min, ma'a, when we say ila al-madrasati, fil fasli. So after a preposition, the noun that comes takes kesra. So B here is making ism making it take the kasra. So we say bismi because of B. And ismillahi, who will get us the why Allah is taking kasra? Who will get it for us? Anyone?
Because it's a possessive phrase, and ismi is ending in kesra.
Wow. So in a possessive phrase like this, ismillahi, ism is the possessed, Allah is the possessor, and we've said that the possessor always ends in kesra. So ism ending in kasra because of the B. It's coming as a ismu majrur. The other time I mentioned it. And now that comes after a preposition is called ismu majrur. The preposition is called harf jar. So when a noun comes after a harf jar, the noun is called ismu majrur because it takes kasra. So ism is taking kasra because it is falling after a preposition, which is B. And ism and Allah, both of them form a possessive case, a possessive construction. So the possessor, we've learned that should end in kasra. So Allah is ending in kasra because it is the possessor. We come to ar-Rahmani. Why is ar-Rahmani taking kasra? Ar-Rahimi kasra.
They are both adjectives, and they are qualifying Allahi. And because Allahi is ending in kesra, they are also supposed to end in kesra.
Tamam, exactly. Mumtaz. So because Allah is ending in kasra and ar-Rahman is an adjective for it, ar-Rahman also ends in kasra. Ar-Rahimi also comes to end in kasra because it's serving as an adjective for it. So when you see somebody read Bismillahir Rahmanu Ar-Rahimu, you don't hesitate to say it is wrong, but then you know in your mind that Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahim here are not adjectives for Allah in this case. They are a separate something on their own. So when somebody should read Bismillahir Rahmanur Rahimu, don't hesitate to say somebody is wrong. In Islam, actually, it is advisable when you see a wrong, you don't hesitate to hit hard. When you see right, you hesitate to motivate. When you see a wrong, you take your time before you approach it. Okay, so Bismillahir Rahmani Ar-Rahim. That is why all these vowels. B is actually is B. Ism is taking kasra because it's ism majrur. Allah is taking kasra because it is mudaf ilay. Ar-Rahmani is taking kasra because it is sifa. Ar-Rahim is taking kasra because it is also sifa to Allah. Okay, I think it is a beautiful note for us to end on. If there is any question, inshallah, we gladly welcome it, inshallah. Please, any question?
I have a question.
Now, tafadhali.
So I know there are different
Sorry to cut you. If you have a question, what do you say if you want to say, I have a question?
I have a question.
Indeed.
I know.
Now.
I know what's the meaning of, but I don't know. I have a question.
Okay. Indeed, I have. Indeed, I have. Question, su'al. Indeed, su'al.
Okay. Indeed, su'al.
Aywa, tafadhali.
I know there are different different styles of recitation, and they don't all follow the rulings that you've just given.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So are there like separate rulings for?
No. You are done with the question, right?
Yes.
Aywa. So you see, why we are learning this is that when you see somebody read a different way with a different vowel, what you know is that the grammatical ruling applying here has changed. And so it is not the same translation that goes with it. Let me use the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim as our sample. Somebody reads Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. When I want to explain in tafsir, with the kasra, I will say ar-Rahman ar-Rahim are coming here as sifat for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the lafz al-jalala mentioned here. So ar-Rahman is a sifa, ar-Rahim is a sifa. When somebody comes to read Bismillahi ar-Rahmanu ar-Rahimu, I would say no, there are no more sifat here. But Bismillahi is a phrase on its own. Bismillahi, in the name of Allah, is a phrase on its own. Ar-Rahmanu ar-Rahimu is another expression on its own. So the difference in qira'at, they also come with different in explanation, different in grammatical ruling. So when somebody reads it the way we are doing, like somebody reads Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim. You look at Surah Fatiha, the second verse, or let's say the third verse, because Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim happens to be the first verse. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Rabbi, Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So Rabbi is a sifa for Allah here. We come to the next verse, Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahimi. We are still giving adjectives to the Allah there. The Rabbil Alameen came as adjective for Allah. Ar-Rahman in the next verse comes as adjective for Allah. Ar-Rahimi comes as adjective for Allah. Now when somebody reads after Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and he says Ar-Rahmanu Ar-Rahimu, that verse is a separate verse. It's not joined to the first one. When we read with Kesra, we join them, giving them the relationship of adjective. But when we read with Dhamma, we've made them a different statement. So we can just translate as the merciful God, the most merciful and most gracious. We can put it that way. The translation of Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim actually by far has been the most problematic translation ever, because they happen to be the same words, but with rhetorical understandings, extra understandings. So the moment the qira'ah changes, it affects the grammatical ruling. What we are doing is that most of our grammar that we will do is in tandem with the hafs. We will mostly be referring to the qira'ah, popular qira'ah that we know, the Rasm Osmani, the font of the Quran that we have. That is mostly what we'll be going about. But then also we wouldn't push away the fact that there are other qira'at. And so that's why I said that when you see somebody read any style, do not hasten to say that, oh no, Ar-Rahman is supposed to be an adjective by force. Make it kasra. No. But some, when you do, they are wrong. Like saying Alhamdulillah, it's wrong. Some rulings are there. Mubtada is marfu, is dhamma. you have to give it the dhamma. So alhamdu, you have to say alhamdu. Lillahi, you can't say lillahu or lillaha, because the leader is a preposition. It should cause the Allah to take kasra. But the relationship like the adjective, I can say no, the second word I'm mentioning, I'm not making it an adjective. It's a freestyle. If there is that kira'ah, it's not like you wish and you do it what you want. If there is that kira'ah, then it's no more an adjective. You don't go saying it's an adjective because they don't agree in the vowel. Okay. I don't know if that's, please, is there a difference between khalf and wara? No, there are no obvious difference, but there are. Now, I think Stalima had a breakage, right? Okay, so the wara and khalf, they meet somewhere and they part ways somewhere. Wara in the Quran, I don't know, they've actually given it a lot of meaning in the Quran. I wish I could reach it right away. In their first meaning, they all mean the same thing. Wara, back, khalf, back. But of course, Arabic, we don't have perfect synonym. Even in English, we don't have perfect synonym. They have a point, they differ. Inshallah, we will try and then exhaust. We will try and I will jot that down. Then we will look at where they differ. But then they are all extra malumat. But then basically on the face, they are all the same. Okay, Sister Radwa is asking tilka and tanika. Okay, in the Quran, tanika actually you see it mostly you see it from the Quran. You hardly see it in everyday language. Tanika, you know, is like saying pointing to dual. It's like pointing to dual, but it also means that it also means that. I think it comes in the Quran. I don't know if you could fetch the verse, but it also means that. Just like we have zalika and zalikum. Zalika, it's like telling you that is for you as something, and zalikum, I would say you are plural. I'm talking to you, I'm pointing something to you. You say zalikum. But in everyday Arabic language, we hardly go there. Everyday Arabic language, we use our tilka, we use our zalika, the kef like that. The extras do not come. Okay, so inshallah, we would exhaust those with minute details. You would try and then fuse them somewhere. We don't want them to come in the mainstream because we are all beginners. So inshallah, we try our best to fuse them somewhere. Their details. Any extra question? The book I have here have them with examples though. Do you have the duruusul luga? Is that in the duruusul luga that you're talking about? Radwa, are you talking about the duruusul luga? I think she's off. She's off. So inshallah, we would close it here. And then till we meet again, please, the Joha video, digest it fully, the Arabic portion of it. The subtitles is there to aid, but then try and get the Arabic words. I want you to get it well. Know what word is being mentioned. What is the word in actual sense? Not just I've heard it. I want to know the word. That's how I want us to go about this thing. Okay, so please keep listening to it. We will share the next one, and then those who have it in full can just keep watching, inshallah. Till we meet again, please do well. The questions are very important for me. It brings out a lot of ma'lumat, inshallah. Okay, so till we meet again, astawdi'ukum Allah. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Oh, right, what is